want to come sit?
Yeah, we can get close. Oh, also we can test how sound travels in this new space, which I suppose we're going to do no matter what. Alex, are we recording and we're doing the Facebook Live thing?
We're on Facebook.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Mark's up. Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new home of Indy Hall. How many people who are here right now, this is your first time visiting the space? Oh, that's so great. There are so many more people who have not visited the space. If you were watching at home over Facebook, if you want to visit at any point in time, you can talk to Sam or myself, to Sean, or to Alex, and we will be really happy to bring you over. But soon, not too terribly long from now, we will be moving everything into this building. That is happening Friday, August 19th. And that weekend is going to be a weekend of us moving things and carrying out projects and making this place like a home, settling into this place and really figuring out how it works. And then on the 22nd, we will officially be here.
You can go to the old place, though. We won't be there.
Oh, God, please don't do that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little rundown of things that are really important to know in terms of getting ready for the move, things that everyone ought to know as we get ready for the move, things that we should know on the day of the move and following. We have a lot of information we want to cover, but we don't want us to be the only people talking.
Yes.
So this is also an evening in which we're going to open it up for questions from you. If you have any lingering questions and ideas, concerns, things you want to do, project ideas, and we're going to talk about that also.
We wanted to start with something we do at every town hall, so if this is your first town hall, welcome. And we want to take a second to say thank you to all the folks that have been going the extra mile to make Indy Hall such an awesome place.
Yeah.
And we have a couple names written down. We have stuff related to the move, not related to the move, but we're also going to open up to you guys and see who you want to thank. Do you want to get started?
I don't want to be a person who points out celebrity, but we do have a celebrity in our midst, the Indy Hall Member of the Month. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Corbin Murray is here. All jokes aside, Peter, people recognize you as that for a reason. This morning I came into Indy Hall and there was a coffee apocalypse that I did not witness because Peter had already taken care of it. He cleaned the entire kitchen at 8:30 in the morning, and for that we're indebted to you all the times that you do that thing. And also, you're the person responsible for fixing the coffee bean grinder, which it kind of is responsible for the mess today. So this is the circle of life that you created for yourself. And along with that, I also really want to shout out Troy. Where's Troy? Troy, I want to shout out Troy for being the person to introduce the Member of the Month program. All of us in this room, all of us who are not in this room, everyone who is an Indy Hall member, has ever been an Indy Hall member, you all do incredible things. And sometimes it's hard to slow down and recognize one another for the incredible things that you do. And Troy, thank you so much for being someone to champion a way for us to slow down and to say thank you to the people who do great shit. So thanks a lot, Troy.
And all folks championing, trying out new shit. Summer is often a little bit slow. People are going on vacation. The hall gets real quiet, as Phil pointed out the other day. So I wanted to give a shout out to Sarah for setting up Indy Movie Night and also championing all the remote members. Indy Movie Night happened one time where nobody was actually physically there and everyone was watching the movie together online. And that is awesome. Once the move is over and we've gotten things settled, making things more accessible like that for remote members is one of my #1 priorities. And she's already miles ahead of all of the things that I've thought of. Also, along with starting things new in the summertime, I wanted to thank Stefan and Mike Jackson for starting Cocktail Night, which is one of my favorite recurring events to point out to tours because there's so many bottles on Stefan's desk. But, I mean, it comes from such a beautifully pure indie hall place of not knowing how to do something, somebody else knows how to do something, so let's JFDI. And it's also really fun to watch everybody get drunk.
We also have, I want to give a quick rundown before I open it up to any of you who would like to say thanks to other members. In terms of everything that I guess we had to do to get to this moment, just right now, to the flooring, to the walls, to everything, so many of you contributed to being able to get this far. And I want to say a thank you to everyone who was a part of the flooring move. The floors that we're standing on right now were just finished being installed today. Thanks, my father. He installed them. That's enough. You can stop.
He had a team.
He did. Yeah, there were others too. He and Justin and a couple of other people, they did really damn good work. But before they could even install it, we had to move that shit upstairs. And it was 14,000 pounds of laminate. And Stefan, Rob Jackal, Troy, Mike, Lena, Patrick, Kevin Lee, Eric Fadden, Jess Mason, Peter, Ben Miller. Any of you who are here right now, you are all stars, because that was crazy. That was crazy, and we really appreciate it. Keegan, also, thank you for everything you're doing in terms of the networking help. As we move forward with that, Keegan is one of the people who will be responsible for our ability to use the internet. And Collins as well. Lena, thank you for help with the lighting, for unpackaging and getting the lighting situated so it can be installed. Thanks to Cattell and to John both for boxes. We're going to get a lot of boxes coming over to the current Indy Hall 22 North 3rd as we get ready to move things, and they donated a few. There's so many more people to thank as far as that goes. And before I go on too long, I'm curious, anybody want to say thanks to anybody else? Could be about the move, could be about literally anything having to do, even tangentially, with Indy Hall. If you want to shout out someone, now's your time. Dope. And when I say now's your time, I mean now is a time. One of the things that we pride ourselves in, I think, at the Hall is being able to say thanks and shout out people for all the cool stuff that they do and do for themselves, for each other, every single day. So please, 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 we're moving to a new home, but nothing about us changes. So I hope we can always take the opportunity to do just that.
So now that you've had a couple minutes to think.
If at any point in time you think, oh shit, I want to say thanks to so-and-so, please don't hesitate, let us know. We'll give you the microphone.
Okay.
Great. Cool.
Thank you guys.
Oh yeah, sure. Anyone This is something that I was actually going to wait until a little bit later, but since we're in the gratitude segment of tonight, I think all of us owe a little something to Alex Hill. Who has lived in this unfinished space for as long as we've found it, as long as it's been an option, who has looked for all of the spaces, who was the person who tried as diligently as possible and thoughtfully as possible to communicate what was happening as it was happening, even though he didn't know what was happening. We thank you, Alex, every single one of us. I think I can speak for all of us. Thank you so much. On moving into maybe something a little more somber, but I want to get to this now before we get into really exciting future stuff. Some of you may know this. Hopefully, many of you know this, as we shared in the email earlier. I guess it was last month, so it was not very long ago. We've got a lot of new things that we're encountering right now with the new space and moving. We have a lot of new things in general. And one of the things that is very new and unfortunate is the passing of one of our members. I'm going to have a hard time with this. I didn't know him very well, but he was one of us. Steve DiNardo passed away last month. Suddenly, he leaves his family. He was an Indian Hall member. I hope right now you can just take a moment of silence and think about him. And as we move into a new space, as we move on as a community, as we exist as we are, and we always have been, Steve was somebody who was here. He enjoyed being a member of the hall. Whether you knew him very well or you did not know him very well, he was special, like all of us. And I hope that everything that we have planned will do him justice. And I hope thinking about having an opportunity to say hello to someone has more gravity, because you never know. And we're not promised anything. You never know. And it was very surprising to all of us. And frankly, we didn't know how to share the information, because that's never been information we had to share. But we think about him, and I hope everything we do as a community does right by him and his family. That's it. I just wanted to say a few words on that. So, thinking about you, Steve. If anybody has a cool joke as a segue, now's the time.
What did the fish say when it hit the wall? Damn. That's my good. If I'm ever taking your picture, you're into that joke.
So hi, Claire. And this is the segment in which we talked about how the fuck we're going to move.
I call it Let's Get Tactical.
Yeah, you want to kick off, Sam?
So, as you got in an email today. So we put together a website for you guys with so many things you need to know, all of the stuff that we'll be sharing on GroupBuzz, and tonight will end up also on that website, just so you have a hub to find it. And that has our FAQ, which I wrote down all the questions I've heard and could possibly have. Alex and I worked to answer them. If you have questions and they're not on the FAQ, please ask us, because number one, we want to answer your questions, but number two, if you have a question, probably somebody else has that question too. It also has a Google Doc with lots of ideas for projects we want to try. The sky's the limit. Dream big, because, I mean, worst comes worst, we just do it. But we want to know.
The worst possible thing is we say, no, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. The floor cannot be made of lava. But we want to know what you're thinking. And now that you've seen this beautiful, beautiful blank canvas, we're open to all of the ideas, from layouts to, I want to take a pillar and do something cool with it, to, oh, this is going to be a perfect place to do a meetup or something that I've always wanted to do. I mean, Indy Hall has always been a clubhouse where people get work done, and so this is a huge, amazing opportunity to play. So let's tactical stuff. So for full-time members, all of your stuff will need to be packed up by the end of the day on Thursday the 18th, because you're including the 19th. We will have boxes, as Adam mentioned. We also already have some, so if you're going away, just let us know, and we'll make sure that your stuff ends up in the right place. Trey, I know you're going away. I see your face. We have a little list too, so we'll make sure that everything ends up in the right place. But basically, it's the exact same as Reboot. You just put all your stuff in a box, if it fits in a box, if not. And on the 19th, we're going to parade it on over here around the block.
An important addition to that, on the 19th, if you've done, actually, anybody who's done a reboot, put your hand in the air if you've done an Indy Hall reboot. This is going to be very similar to a reboot, except maybe more fun, because we don't have to put our old place back together.
I'm going to say definitely more fun.
I hope so.
Far less cleaning.
Yeah, there will be a lot less cleaning. What that means is, Friday the 19th, Indy Hall is going to be closed for proper business. We're just going to be coming in and doing work to move things over. The hardest part of doing that is letting people know. So please don't hesitate to talk about that, to ask people if they know that we're going to be closed, that we're moving on the 19th. Pity to the person who always comes in on that day to get work done. And usually, often, joins our cleaning.
Yeah, ends up mopping.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying as hard as we can to make sure that everyone knows what the plan is. And on Friday, August 19th, we're going to be closed and just moving stuff and having a good old time.
Yeah, we're gonna make it as much of a party as we possibly can. I know Alex is looking into some fun music options. I'm sure we'll have donuts or something.
Alex's fun music options like Foo Fighters, by the way. It's Foo Fighters.
No.
Foo Fighters are gonna be there, everybody.
April will be here. So if you cannot be here on the 19th because it is a Friday, and I know everybody has a job, we will be doing stuff the whole weekend. I'm not totally sure what exactly the layout of how we're going to be doing things will be because it's kind of a matter of what we get done each day. But we'll be doing stuff and we'll be tracking. As Reed pointed out, we'll put together a spreadsheet so you can sign up for when you're able to be here. And the plan is we'll probably have, at least for the 19th, a couple different teams. So if lifting and moving stuff is not your thing, we will have a team at Indy Hall getting stuff ready to move. We all know those clutter areas that Adam and I walk by and start weeping. Those will be things that you can help out with, or putting all the stuff in the kitchen together, or we'll have a list, we'll know. There'll be a team that's moving stuff down the way. I think for the first move, we'll all go, even if you can't lift things, we'll make that work. And then there'll be a team that's here setting things up. So there are lots of different ways to pitch in. And we'll probably have a great list of projects also for that weekend so that when we come in on the 22nd, it not only is a place where you can get work done because there's internet and there's coffee and there's desks and there's obviously lights, but it will also be a place that feels like home, like with this pillar over here that is making me so happy to look at.
Oh yeah, shout out to Sean for that idea. That was a really great idea. It's kind of what just a small amount of artwork does, just for these corners. It already feels a little bit like home. And a bunch of us, with that sort of momentum, that idea to spread that throughout the rest of the space, and I think we'll be able to settle in really nicely and really quickly. The first move, when we start bringing things over on the 19th, we're just expecting to bring things over that are really, really required to get work done. Places to sit, things to put our computers on, other work items, a way to make coffee, that sort of thing. But everything following that, we're going to bring things over and do it at a pace that is, I think, fun, but not stressful. This is not something that we really need to lose our minds over. We have some time. We're going to have a really nice weekend together and just crafting this all together as one.
The other thing to keep in mind is that by no means on the 22nd will we have a finished product. Indy Hall is always a work in progress anyway because there's always something interesting growing or changing or some new art going on or something like that.
So there's always something interesting growing.
There are plants. It makes sense. But,
yeah, there's always something interesting growing in the Indy Hall refrigerator.
Yeah, super thanks to Neil for help with that today. So we will not be finished by any means on the 22nd, but we will be finished enough to start working and have this be a good home base to start doing things with.
Anybody happen to see some of the information about our address change? If anyone was curious about address change stuff, we have a lot of information in the FAQ that Sam mentioned earlier. And that is your sort of a lot of animated GIFs or GIFs. I don't care. There are a lot of animated things. And it's your one-stop shop for everything in terms of what we know now. If something seems to be missing or you're not sure about some information, then maybe we can add to the FAQ. What's the URL of Strangers Past?
hello.indyhall.org/moving.
That's correct.
hello.indyhall.org/moving. Thanks, kind stranger.
Yeah. Mysterious person in the back, if you're still with us. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Great. This building is so large. You sound so far away. My understanding is you're going to potentially change the first page of the Indy Hall website. Is that true?
Coming soon.
Okay. I put that stranger on the spot. I do a lot.
Because our website has so much from our old location, we don't want to confuse anybody, so...
Can you really explain that?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, okay.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
50% of this team wants you to.
Well, I mean, that's one way to get it done. So, if you've been following along on Instagram, sort of referring to this project. Hi, I'm Alex, by the way. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi. Thank you for being here. That really means, like, a ton to me. So, we've been calling this sort of Operation Blank Canvas, and as you can see, some folks took it very, very literally, which is awesome. And I was thinking about how we could really fully embrace this idea of Indy Hall being a blank canvas. We've got this new location, which means we have to sort of rethink through all different kinds of communication, where we are, how we are, who we are is the one thing that's not changing, right? But a bunch of other things are. And so, has anybody rebuilt their website? Liars. Yeah, so building a website is a giant pain in the ass, right? It's so many little things to think through. And frankly, we don't have time to think through all of them and do a very good job. So I thought, why not fully embrace the idea of a blank canvas? And what I'm thinking about doing, this has not been done yet, but I'm putting this out there for your thoughts as well, is for a few weeks at least, the Indy Hall website will literally be a Google Doc. You'll go to indyhall.org and it will be a read-only Google Doc. And it'll be a little bit of an introduction of who we are, what we're about, and why you want to be a part of this community anyway.
Where's Johnny Velada? Because he just had a stroke.
Yeah. and having it be something that's really easy for us to figure out how to communicate all of these things. And then, you know, and again, if you've done a website before, the worst thing you can do is design it before you figure out what the content is. Let's embrace the blank canvas. Let's say fully, like, you don't need a shiny website to understand what Indy Hall is. We've got some stuff that describes who we are, most importantly, some pictures that show who we are, and a really simple, almost absurdly simple website for a few weeks. I think it'd be kind of an interesting experiment. So that may be coming if you're interested in being a part of that, if you're interested in writing. And frankly, in my mind, the best version of this is not me figuring out how to describe Indy Hall, it's ways you describe Indy Hall. So noodle on that a little bit, and maybe we can figure out ways to work not just pictures of you, but actually your words, your memories, your descriptions into how we describe Indy Hall to the world. So that's that.
I was mentioning the address change. I do want to say this out loud into a microphone. Apart from being able to check that FAQ about the address change, so I'm saying this now, and you hear this now, and you will hear it many, many times. Our new address is 399 Market Street, and if you're having things mailed to Indy Hall, it's 399 Market Street, Suite 360, 360.
Like a circle.
Like a revolution. Are you with me? Hey, shut up, Finn. Your eye rolling is loud. Okay, so here's the truth. We pulled that number out of our ass because they asked about a suite number, and we just thought that was memorable.
420.
I wanted 420, but 420 on the third floor, no. It doesn't really work.
Same as 666 is no problem.
Yeah.
No 64.
No, too late.
They said no. We did try for 399 to 399, and they were like, don't do that.
So the new Indy Hall address, 399 Market Street, Xbox 360. And remember that, please God, remember that. What that means is, for Indy Hall right now, I have changed the address. So all of our mail is going to begin coming over here. And I will be visiting this place between now and when we move to pick that mail up and bring it to our current location. I'm on top of that. That means we're going to try, well, things are probably going to be a little weird for some time as the mail and USPS and UPS and FedEx adjusts. God help LaserShip. They're screwed. So we're going to try really hard to be on top of that, and we know it'll be a little funky. Please be patient with us. I'm sorry if things get a little weird as that happens. But what that means for you, think of anything you have sent to 22 North 3rd Street, or if you've been around for many years, to 20 North 3rd Street. the old address. Think of anything you have sent there, and make sure you change those addresses to 399 Suite 360, and maybe the most important part, care of Indy Hall. CO Indy Hall. Because there are other businesses in this building, we really want to make sure that stuff reaches you. So Amazon, your Loot Crate, Loot Snoop. I don't know what websites there are.
Also your business registration, your
Who pays you? Yeah, that seems
I
significant.
guess that's important.
Alex brought this up. Tell your mom. Like, if somebody's telling you...
Or don't.
Or don't. Yeah, that's fine. If you do or do not want a birthday card to show up to 22 North 3rd Street, tell friends and family about the new address. And we know that there are going to be a few growing pains in terms of this. We're going to make it, hopefully, as smooth as possible. All of that information is on the FAQ at hello.indyhall.org/moving.
Hey.
Yes.
So does that cover UPS and FedEx as well? Like, will UPS and FedEx still be shipping to old Indy Hall Classic this next week?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can tell you thought about that.
I did.
I appreciate you bringing your A game.
I always do.
Okay.
Not even got.
So UPS and FedEx, of course, separate from the Postal Service. Those things are tied to specific websites. Those are tied to Amazon primarily, and to anywhere else that we're having things sent online. So those addresses are changing as well, if they haven't already been changed. Some of those things won't change yet, so we don't have to worry about it until we move.
I would say short answer is everything can be delivered to both up until the 19th, and potentially briefly until after that, but the sooner you can change your addresses, the better.
Yeah.
You can get stuff sent here beforehand. Use your tracking codes. Either we can come over and pick it up. Basically, the folks at the front desk know this stuff is going to start coming from us before we move in. They're expecting it. So long as you're addressing it to include Suite 360 as part of the address, and Indy Hall as part of the address, they'll know what to do with it.
That's right. And by the way, on this floor, there is a motherfucking mail room. A mail room! But what that means is that has nothing to do with another thing.
Zero.
What I'm trying to
Just
say
say
is
what that
they got all
mysterious thing
kinds of random stuff up here that is unrelated to our situation. Well, yeah, here's my final word on the mail. There's a yoga room up
I
here.
have a word on the mail.
What's your word?
I have talked to a couple people who are like, please, dear Lord, can we find a better system for sorting and organizing the mail? And the answer is, yeah. I don't have one, but I would love to work out one with anybody who's interested, whether it's just clearer labeling, different organization, whatever you want to do, because that becomes a real pain, especially around the holidays, and I don't want anyone to lose their money, or wedding invitations, or cards from moms.
Or a sock subscription.
I don't do that anymore.
Sorry. What's the...
So the last thing to talk about for getting tactical are keys and key holders. As most of you probably know, if you've been a full-time member for a good amount of time, everybody knows and trusts you, you can apply to become a key holder. Back in our old place, it means you get a physical key that Adam and I braved the scary people across the street to make for you. Not that, I'm not trying to guilt you. But as you also may have noticed, this is not a building with physical keys. So, we're still working on exactly how it's going to work, but we have key cards, which are not behind me anymore, but they were.
Yeah. I think Alex is going to pop that up. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have key cards. They're roughly the size of a credit card, and people who get a key will, I believe, be able to choose from a couple of different styles. And Sean and Mike Jackson designed this.
They're so pretty in person.
Yes. If you've been here for a minute, you know that the only three things that guide us are our house, our promises. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and take care of this place. Those things still abide. So every key card will have each of those on the key card. And we're having different colors because,
Fun.
you know, fun.
One's gonna be gold.
Yeah. As we have more details for entrance and keys and key holders, we're going to share that as often and as quickly and as often as possible. We also know that as we move in and we find out some of the new interesting obstacles or constructs that we have to deal with, we might have to change some ideas, we might have to flex a little bit, and we will share as much as we know as soon as we know.
The cool thing is that having key cards allows us to be really flexible with them too. We can enable them to be that you can come in anytime, day or night, 24 hours. We can have them so that, you know, if you are full-time and then you switch to a lower membership level and you aren't going to come in on Saturdays and it only works for weekdays, there's a lot of tinkering to be done there. And that's why it's still a little bit up in the air, but we're going to have beautiful key cards.
Yeah,
That's what we have.
that's right. Do we have anything else in tactical?
That's it for Let's Get Tactical. But I know Amanda had a question because she asked me and asked if she should save it.
So I'm going to be hosting an event at Indy Hall on August 25th, which is like right after we move, and that's kind of scary. What's the best way for me to bring guests into the building?
That's a really good question.
Can I grab that?
Yeah,
Yes.
if you would like to.
Grab it, crying stranger.
Do you want me to do it right now?
Yeah, please. Otherwise, the hype is going to build.
Before I answer, can we get a quick round of applause for Adam and Sam? It's a huge weight off my shoulders to have a lot of this stuff. I know and I trust that these two are going to be able to cover it, communicate it, and I also know that they're able to hand things off to me when there's extra stuff. And one of the hardest parts about this entire move, and part of the reasons, among the reasons I'm so appreciative of these two, is they've put up with me saying, I don't know the answer to that, which they then have to relay to you, but it sounds like it's coming from them when in reality it's me. So anytime one of them has said, I don't know the answer to that in the last 6 months or so, that's actually been me. It's been my fault. So another round of applause for these two for putting up with it. So, all right, so I had an amazing walkthrough yesterday afternoon with the building manager, building engineer's name is Ray. I wish Ray was able to stick around to be here tonight, but you'll get to meet him very, very soon. Ray's been running this building and the team that supports this building for 28 years. Ooh. I've barely been alive for 28 years. A little bit more. But like this guy knows every nook and cranny of this building and more importantly cares about this building the way we care about ourselves, each other, and the place that we share. Among the things that's been most impressive is Ray's ability to say, don't worry, we'll figure it out, when I've got weird questions about how are we going to have guests come up and feel comfortable and know where they're going? How are we going to figure out how key cards work? Because we know, basically, I've constantly gone to Ray and said, Ray, we're weird, what do we do? And guest access is obviously something unusual. Here's the good news. We're able to, whether it's guest access, things like key cards, we're going to do everything that we can to try and make things as similar to what we're used to. Key cards, we're not going to come up with fancy hour access. It's just going to be the simple basic. If you get a key, it works 24/7, same as before. And then we can start figuring out how to introduce more granular access. Access control is super simple because there's an amazing staff that works the front desk. Felicia and Sharon are at that desk between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Sharon's in the morning, Felicia in the afternoon. You get to know them. They are lovely and hilarious. They're amazing. They're better with names than Adam. And Adam is really good at names. Well, and here's how I know this. Did you or did you not refer to Felicia as Sharon?
Okay. Well,
It's okay.
it's okay.
These guys will literally bend over backwards. Frankly, I don't want to have to ask them to because I don't think we need them to, but they are flexible and excited about finding ways to work with us. So the short answer, because that was a long one, is the more notice we have, the better of things that are going on. But the new twist is the more they know, the better. We may figure out a way that we want to make nice little plaques or signs so that people... I think one of the hard parts right now is if you walk into that lobby, that it's not clear that you're in the building that Indy Hall might be in. So we might want to have some sort of sign or plaque or something like that that makes it clear as soon as you walk in, oh, I'm definitely in a place where Indy Hall, where there's an event going on for Indy Hall. Eric.
Can folks get in the building after seven?
So, access control, yeah. So the building is staffed, and therefore the front door is unlocked, although you have to go past one of the guards to actually enter the building, between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Outside of those hours, you do need keys. So during those, not that I expect to have to close this door during the day, because I think it'll be nice to come off the elevator, just walk in and sort of enter Indy Hall. But during those hours, and once you're inside the building, once you're on the floor, we'll be able to add more granular control down to the hour, down to, you could plan ahead of time or shoot us a text message and say, hey, I left something, I talked to Sharon, she let me upstairs, can you buzz me in, and we can press a button and open up the door. So we have a lot more control and flexibility. The flip side of that is that doesn't mean we need to get lazy. Sorry, it doesn't mean we're allowed to get lazy. And we need to really double down on the elements of trust that makes being able to come to a place like this when it is useful and convenient to you, able to be done and still feel as comfortable as home.
But there are cameras down there.
There are cameras, that is true. Out what the best way to reach them other than walking up to their desk is. You know, paper trails are handy. You know, they all have email. They're part of the Colonial Penn family. If we set up an email which includes us as well as them, that you can say, hey, I like after hours at indyhall.org or something like that, so we're all on the same page. I think something like that may end up helping solve some of these sort of workflow confusions, so long as we're all talking about the same thing. After hours. Yeah, very good question. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sam. I just want to reiterate that access control, whether it's a physical key, a digital, when I want, outside of business hours, is so deeply tied to trust. And I want to make crystal clear and very, very sure that anything we're doing, changing, adapting to make things more flexible doesn't make that go away. So if we're ever doing, so this is two invitations. One, your ideas, your questions, your, hey, could we make this work, or things like that. Also, if you see potential problems, if something makes you uncomfortable, things are going to be changing. We're going to do our best job possible to communicate them proactively and often. If something that changes feels weird to you or off, it doesn't mean that we changed a rule. It doesn't mean we changed it on purpose. Do not be afraid to ask us. We may have made a mistake, and we want to make sure that this is a place that you're comfortable, you're safe leaving your stuff. There's so many improvements to this building and the support staff that will make it, I think, easier, but I do not want to get lazy. We cannot afford that. I think that's one of the most things that makes this community important, is we do look after each other in the place that we share. That's what makes Indy Hall more than just a place to come and park your laptop. Done. I do. How are we on time?
We have 10 more minutes.
We have 10 more minutes. All right, I want to be respectful of everyone's time.
We have 9 more minutes.
I promised 7:30. And obviously, you're welcome to stick around for a little bit, keep talking. I have
Paint
no
on the
idea
walls.
if you housed all of Patterson's barbecue or Sam's veggie barbecue. I was going to call it fake barbecue. That just didn't seem fair.
It's fake. It's not real.
Okay, so fake barbecue. I'm sure there's more of that, hangout, all those things. But I want to take the last couple of minutes to sort of close up Town Hall with a reminder of what Town Hall is. We've been up here talking a bunch because there's a lot to cover. Town Hall is, regardless of the reason or the format, the beginning of a conversation, to try and get a room full of people on the same page so we can continue the conversation after that. So I just want to sort of drop that reminder. But I would like to hand some of the next one, I'm guessing it's 7.5 to 8 minutes, over to a couple of you. I would love to hear your first impressions, walking through the door into a room full of people, whatever you saw. I would love to hear people's first impressions. How does this make you feel? How do you feel right now? Anybody wants to go? I'll run a microphone over.
I'll draw on the walls.
Can we ask some questions?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That's legit, though. I want to recognize that. You want to draw on the walls?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
That is one reason we had everything painted white, so we can do
just tempting. Like I wanna take like a bunch of Sharpies.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
We said there are cameras, by the way.
we're gonna try and make things still thoughtful, but there are a lot of people that want to help make this place feel like something that you contributed to. So if you've got something you want to do to make this place look cool, cozy, yeah, come talk to us. Sean's got ideas of what's possible. We also have measurements and things like that as well. But I want to.
And the more collaborative, the better, because
Yeah.
I don't have ideas, but I want to draw on your ideas.
Well, I'll hit my impressions first. So I got to see this place when we first walked through. Like we did that first walkthrough, it was just a cubicle farm. Like that's what this place was. It looked very unwelcoming. But she showed us the TD Bank, bizarrely the TD Bank ceiling downstairs, and it looked amazing. It looked like the kind of place that we would work pretty well in. And I think what you guys have done here is made it is no secret of mine that I am not happy. that building over there is uncomfortable at times, and I'm super happy to be here. It is so quiet. It was so quiet over here, having everybody talk over there. The kind of things that you all designed to make this space just work better than the space over there is noticeable, and it's going to be amazing. Even just walking on the floor feels like it's just noticeably different than walking on cement.
My dad installed it.
Well, I mean, we want to have a little talk about nepotism in Indy Hall. It is a little bit.
Did you call my dad? Call him a necromancer?
Your dad brought these floors back from the dead. So my question then, I think those are all the compliments. I mean, it's amazing. This place is amazing. Like, we're really happy to be here. Like, every little bit and piece just works so well, and it's clear that there's so much intent behind it. My question:
Shoot.
parking
Yeah.
and bicycles.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up because I totally forgot.
Thank you, too.
So I have some awesome news about bikes. They're installing like 30.
They're economical, they're green, they're expensive,
Everybody for everyone.
It's a great way to raise your heart rate every day.
They're installing 36 bike racks in the parking garage for us. Wow. I'm going to add a caveat. It's not just for us. The tenant that just moved in on the second floor as well of an architecture firm also asked for them, but they were like, we need like 5, and I was like, we need like 30. And it was awesome when I asked Ray about that yesterday because I had not forgotten about it, but it had fallen off the list because we were chasing HVAC nonsense. I said, hey, I forgot to ask you about the bikes. Where are we on that? And he goes, I just got off the call with the building management about that. Here's what we're doing. So if you ride a bike in, it'll probably be easier for me to walk you through than try and describe it because it doesn't really make sense until you've been through the garage. But the short version is you'll come in on the 4th Street side through the parking garage. You'll be able to come into the parking garage. You'll be let in by the parking garage is also staffed 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Outside of those hours is part of what we've got to figure out yet, but again, they know what we need to try to accomplish, and they want to work with us and make the upgrades necessary. Be able to ride your bike in, park your bike. It is dry, it is secure, you are outside of the elements, you're down there with the building owner's Maserati. Do not touch his Maserati. And there's room to expand. So we have more bike parking than we ever have before. It'll be a little bit different from being able to just like ride them in the front door, of course. But having.
Deal with the vestibule.
But yes, no more awkward vestibule. No more even just like pushing the door, juggling keys, and all of that nonsense.
No more my voice at the door. What is that?
Put it in. We'll make sure to put it in. We'll teach Felicia.
I fully plan to go like Office Space, Ghetto Boys, smash that thing with a baseball bat, absolutely.
So that's bikes. If you drive cars, because some of you do that, or motorcycles. Motorcycles, I frankly don't have an answer to right now, so I'm working on that. Cars, the way they currently have their leasing set up, I have terms built into our lease that we can lease 1 or more parking spots in the garage as we want or need. I believe they're month to month, not annual, but I've got to confirm that. It's $250 a month, which is basically comparable to a full-time spot somewhere in the neighborhood. The benefit being it's underground instead of outside, so there's that benefit. Crystal Blue, this is not a promise, but once the dust has settled a little bit, I would like to approach them with a good plan for the potential for parking day passes, something that, if you're coming in, ahead of time, you can plan. You have a guest coming in, you can plan. They're smart, savvy business people who also want to make good things happen. If I come to them and say, look, this is an easy way for you to make a couple extra bucks that I can't give you because people don't want full-time spots, and we have a good plan, I think they're going to bite. But we got to work up to that. Does that answer parking questions?
That's a really good solution to that problem. All right, cool. Do I have to give the mic up? No? Yeah.
The rest of tonight can just be me and you. We're at the risk of going over time. I would love to get another, a question or two, reflections as well.
We have 2 minutes. I saw Amanda's hand first.
1 second, I just have one quick thing. I love the natural light. It's so amazing. Big windows.
Big windows!
One of the things that I hadn't really thought about until a couple people start pointing it out is that we're at tree level. In so many places you look at it, you see green, which is super cool. And if you aren't aware of the other view that we have over here to the left, that's Ben Franklin's post office. We've got this really awesome historic site. We can maybe do some post-it note signage at Fox. Honestly, Fox being across the street might be the worst part of the entire situation. However, we if anybody can turn lemons into lemonade, we should absolutely be pranking the corner of 4th and Market on a regular basis.
I will say, as a food obsessed person, they also often are giving away free food, and we'll be able to see it first.
Mariah and
Donald Trump
Nico.
poster memes in the windows.
Yes. Nico, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, the space is so awesome. I always saw the old space of Classic as Brenner Park School, and this is like, it grew up even more. And, Alex and I talked about this, we're part of a growing team, and this feels way more professional, and I love that.
Yes.
It's still got an artsy vibe, so I'm super happy. My one question is, I'm not the one guy that uses a whiteboard, and before you guys paint on the walls, there aren't actually that much, there isn't that much wall space here.
Yeah.
So I know it's at a premium.
No, it's a great question.
If I may, one of the things that we are aware of is the lack of wall space. Although there's a little bit more than I think any of us anticipated when we first walked around and saw the completely hollowed out space before some of these partitions went up. What I would love to do is explore some opportunities to make stuff together, like rolling whiteboards. Maybe a sign that has a whiteboard, maybe a sign that has tear paper, something that you can tear off. I think it would be really awesome to use the floors to our advantage and a little mobility, not just as a whiteboard, but also as a movable wall. Something like that, maybe a couple of those would be really unique, and we'd be able to use that in different spaces and not have to traverse floor to floor, since we're only on one now.
That's the other thing, when you're looking around and kind of imagining, because I can't help it, I'm already thinking about where desk pod will be. We are planning on making some movable walls, and we have lots of awesome stuff on our Pinterest, which is linked in the website. And we've talked to Jack Design for all kinds of different ways that we can make it work to have it hang off a pillar or be freestanding. So we can definitely have whiteboard walls, we can have walls with some storage in them. And that's one of those things that's going to come after the 22nd, and we have lots and lots of different ways to get creative with.
Jordan Ryder approached me right before we started Town Hall and was asking me if I knew a story about, I don't remember, I think it was an urban planner or a neighborhood planner who the builders asked, where would you like to put the sidewalks? And he said, just put grass everywhere. Wherever they walk is where we'll put the sidewalks later. And so back to that Operation Blank Canvas idea, there's a bunch of reasons I haven't built walls in here. It's not because I have some sort of weird Hitler-like vendetta against walls, I promise. It's that I want walls to be where walls are better than not having walls, and that wherever there is a wall today could be something different tomorrow, and that wall could be useful somewhere else. So we have a huge advantage to be able to come in here. I have very few preconceived notions about how we are actually going to set up this space, and however we set it up on the weekend of the 19th to 22nd, probably won't last that way for very long. The more time we spend living in this place, the easier it's going to be to say, it would be awesome if there was something that I could put my wall against here, or if we had a cluster of something white. Like, that is the opportunity that over at the other space, where there's a wall, guess what? There's a wall. And it's made out of river rock, and you can't even cut through it with a diamond blade if I wanted to. But, like, this could be what we need it to be, and the idea of it being modular and solutions being able to be moved around based on where you are instead of you having to go to them, right? For your team to be able to have your own movable whiteboard that maybe is over here one day, is over there another. Like, I think that could be amazing for the way your team actually works together as well. So lots of room to experiment with that. We like I said, there's tons of great stuff on Pinterest that we can riff on, we can build, we can experiment, and I think that's really, really exciting. We're at time. I want to thank you more than anything for your time and attention, because you're all busy people, and you taking a couple hours out of your evening to be here with us really, really, truly does mean the world to me. This has been a weird year, if we're being totally honest. 14 months ago, I had to send an email to a community that I care a lot about to say, I'm not sure where we're going to be in a year, but it's going to be different. And you all trusted me for some reason. And that means a lot. I don't know how to say it any other way other than it means a lot. I'm very, very happy with where we are. I'm very, very excited about where this lets us get. The last year I don't want to say we've survived, because I think that paints a more grim picture than anything really was. But we've been treading water. I feel like anything we've accomplished this year that is different or better than we did the year before, we certainly have. All of us have. Our team, our community, you as individuals, I'm insanely proud of anything we've done. We've done that while treading water on like a really rickety foundation where things work but only sort of by the skin of their teeth. This isn't just a new blank canvas for us to make home. This is where we get our footing. And the thing I'm most excited about, even more than movable whiteboards and figuring out how to make this place feel so fucking amazing, is the fact that we're on solid ground, squishy ground for a change actually. And the things that we can build from where we're standing right now are things that for the last 10 years we could have maybe possibly even dreamed of. Our ability to say yes, starting the end of this month, is bigger and better than ever before. And that is what this community is all about. The thing you want to do, there should be absolutely nothing in your way. That's what JFDI is. The thing you should be doing, you should just go do it. And best of all, we can do it together. We can do it together. Thank you.
As we say every town hall, this is not the end of this conversation. This is an ongoing conversation. So any questions, any comments, any thoughts you have tonight or going forward or after the move or long after the move, please, we're here. It is our #1 priority to listen and hear you, and if there's something we can help with, that's what we're here for.
I have one other sort of silly thing. It's weird to like get that emotional and be like, oh, something very tactical again. You probably had a very strange experience coming off the elevator. It's nice in the lobby as you come in this sort of like funky 70s elevator, then you've got to like walk down a weird hallway and like, okay, really good news. Very likely by the move-in date, if not within a week after, that entire corridor is getting redone. So you come off the elevator, you will look right, and you will see our amazing entrance, however we decide we want to make it look and feel. You're not going to have to walk out a weird little corridor. Where that TV is, that wall gets blown out all the way back to our hallway. So coming off the elevator is going to be nice and open. It's going to be all updated and modernized. And the building has been supportive. And again, this is one of those things where we've got to earn their trust and show them that we, like, I saw Ray before he was leaving, and he had come in and he had taken pictures of the art hung and the stuff on the columns, sent it to the guy who I signed the lease with, and said, look what these guys did. This is really cool. So like they're already really stoked about us. The more trust we earn, the more we show them that we're good at this. We're good at making a place that their employees are going to want to come and hang out here. I know it for a fact. They're going to want to hang out with us. When I say to them, hey, instead of you buying goofy, probably very expensive furniture and hanging art that nobody knows who made that art, can we play an active role in furnishing the lobby when you come off the elevator? I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be yes. or better yet, a collaboration with our neighbors on the floor. That's what we have ahead of us, things like that. So, so that's an unusual, like, this space is amazing. There's still some awkwardness in the building, but that's something that's going to be improving literally in the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to point that out as well. So now I'm really done. Not really, but I'm really done.
Eat all the food.
Oh, that's a good question. Do you remember what the...
I have a for you. Anything where it says we have
So the next one...
Actually, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
If anybody wants to take a second to help stack up chairs and cushions over in the corner, that would be primo. Thank you.
Hey, Alex.
We're still. Out of the way.
I'm trying to think of what we want to do here.
All right, gang. I had a suggestion right after Town Hall. By the way, I thank you for hanging out for Town Hall. Stream's been going forever. A couple of people in and out, which has been cool and a fun experiment. We'll see if people want to watch this later on. Definitely Eric Steele's idea, and not Chris Morell's idea. I was told explicitly Eric Steele's idea, not Chris Morell's idea, to do a quick walk around and give you a little tour. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to start out on the elevator, since that seems like a good place to start. How's everybody's day going?
Sorry.
Is it good? What's up, Susie?
Oh, hi.
How you doing?
Is that a camera?
Yes.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to do a
That was
little.
awesome. Thanks for the presentation.
Oh, my pleasure. Finn, the camera was facing me, not you. All right, so walking tour. So you can see, I'm gonna flip this. Some folks are heading out. Say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thanks for coming. See ya. Thank you for coming. Yeah. So you come off that elevator, and I was just telling the crew that this elevator lobby is going away in the coming weeks. So you'll come off of one of these elevators, look to your right, and instead of this TV and this wall and this sort of goofy wall, this wall ahead of us right now will still be there, but the wall to our right where the TV is won't be. You'll be able to look straight down, see our entranceway, and I'm going to take you down there right now. So yeah, it looks a little bit unusual. This is not where you'll need to walk, but when you come off that elevator, you will see our opening, which, you know, this opening, I'm trying to get a good angle on it. You know, this sort of little recessed opening, I really want us to, Sean's been talking about making this an art installation, honestly, and finding ways to make this inviting and us, which is super cool, and I will share with you. I bought this on Etsy a while ago, but home is where your Wi-Fi connects. I don't know if anybody noticed that you could actually connect to the Indy Hall Wi-Fi here tonight. So when you come in, to your left, you'll be able to see everybody. It feels so good to do a live stream with people in here instead of just an empty room. Sean went and grabbed some of the art from Kin, one of our